Hey guys, we are back here with Josh Von Pohl. I'm very sorry I had to pause that there for a couple of minutes for you guys, but yeah, I have to take care of those things when they occur. So yeah, I get random bloody noses, so hopefully that doesn't happen again, and we can continue this smooth rolling for the rest of the podcast. Before we left off, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and we were talking about where we thought Nick Foles would go. We were talking about where we thought Malcolm Butler could go. I wanted to go back to the Nick Foles thing. So there's a few teams I could definitely see him going to, and I wanted to get your thoughts. So there's a few teams that could definitely use a quarterback right now. So I've got four in mind. So one is Arizona. Their Carson Palmer's done. So I think all they've got is Drew Stanton right now. The Jets have nobody. They need something in there for leadership. Denver. Simeon, Osweiler, Lynch, they're not cutting it. I'm sorry. They need somebody in there who is going to be able to be consistent for the team with the receivers they have. And then finally, I know like Tannehill's not awful, but I definitely think that he could be used and utilized in Miami. So yeah. Those are my four thoughts on where he could possibly go if he does leave. Where could you see Foles out of any of those teams? Do you have any others in mind? Where do you think he would fit in best if he was to be traded?
It'd be crazy to see him go to the Jets.
Yeah.
Realistically, I would say Arizona for sure. They could definitely use a guy like him, especially with all the targets they have. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald, I know, is itching for the Super Bowl ring.
Well, and you'd obviously have David Johnson coming back from injury. You would have a lot of threats out there on offense. Then they would just need to strengthen their defense because Patrick Peterson ain't going to get it done just himself. But I could definitely see Nick Foles going there. I would like I wouldn't like it because I'm a Niner fan and that would suck. But for the league-wise, I think that would be really cool to see him go to a place like Arizona. And that's a place where they could definitely set him up for success. Larry Fitzgerald is only got a couple of years left, so we'll see. We'll see where Nick Foles goes. I think the likely case scenario is he either stays with Philly or he goes to Denver or Arizona. I think that's the likely possibilities for him. And out of everything, I think Arizona is where I could see him going.
Yeah, it just depends if they can come up with the money or not.
For sure, yeah. That'll be the key thing as well. Okay, cool. Away from football, I wanted to go ahead and get into a story for you guys that probably very few of you have heard about. And I just came up on this actually like about an hour or two before the show. And the headline itself makes you want to facepalm, and then when you actually read the article, it makes you really just want to shoot your computer screen. So here's the headline. He's a Nazi, Republicans warn, but he's their likely nominee for Congress. Arthur Jones, a Holocaust denier described as a Nazi by the Illinois Republican Party, is poised to win the Republican primary in the state's 3rd congressional district. He is running unopposed, all but guaranteeing he will soon be the official Republican candidate for the House of Representatives. Quote, "There's no way in the world they can knock me off the ballot," said Mr. Jones, 70, who has unsuccessfully sought the nomination 5 times. His campaign website has a section devoted to conspiracy theories about the Holocaust, which he called nothing more than an international extortion racket. The Republican primary in the district, a Democratic stronghold that includes part of Chicago and its southwestern suburbs, is on March 20th. A spokesman for the Illinois Republican Party said it had difficulty recruiting anyone to run against Mr. Jones because, quote, "it is a very Democratic district." Oh, man, this is bad. So I watched a couple of interviews with this guy. He went on CNN, and he was talking about his Holocaust denial. He also was talking about how he believes Hitler's economics back in when he was running the country in Germany. He thinks it helped them basically bring them up and make the country better. And we do not need this guy. So there are a lot of people in this country who cry and moan about people who they say, oh, they're Nazis, oh, they're fascists, when in reality they're the fascists, and they really just are just crying for attention. However, in this case, this guy is literally a Nazi. Like, we really do not need this guy anywhere in government. I'm sorry, we do not. It is crazy to see that there are still people like this who have a possibility of getting into a democratic system in America. It's crazy.
Yeah, how did he even get this far?
I don't know. Like I said, he's ran for the nomination 5 times, unsuccessfully sought it, and basically I think it was something that had to do with like his paperwork, and now he's all good to go, I guess. I mean, so there's more to this article here towards the bottom. So, quote, the Illinois Republican Party in our country have no place for Nazis like Arthur Jones, the Illinois Republican Party chairman Tim Schneider said in a statement. We strongly oppose his racist views and his candidacy for any public office, including the 3rd Congressional District. So, I mean, nobody's cool with it, but I mean, if there's nobody running against him, then there's no way they can really shut it down.
Yeah, that would just be crazy if that guy got in the office.
Luckily, and I'm not even a Democrat, but anybody, I don't care if you're a Republican, whatever, you should be happy when the Democrat beats this guy. Hopefully he can beat this guy. But yeah, it's insane, like, and there's not just him. There's a lot of people who are conspiracy theorists when it comes to Holocaust denial and many issues. First off, I want to say I'm not a conspiracy theorist. There are definitely multiple issues out there where I think that there can definitely be some skepticism. I think 9/11, it could definitely be justified to be one of those. I think there's a lot of issues that go into that are very fishy, along with many other things that have happened out there. I think the whole issue behind the Pizzagate thing with Hillary Clinton, I think that there's definitely more to that personally as well. But there's a lot of things out there, like people who say the moon landing was fake, people who say that even after Elon Musk launched the SpaceX up into space with his car and the space guy in there, and it showed the Earth, which is round, people were saying, oh, that's a fake picture, and yeah, the Earth is flat. It's amazing we still have some of these people out there. I mean, it's one thing to be a conspiracy theorist and, say, yeah, there's some skepticism, reasonable skepticism out there. But, like, these are basic things we were taught in 3rd grade, and I don't know how you can debate that. I just don't know.
They're just really stupid. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, really. I hate to single them out, but it is the Alex Jones crowd. I mean, there's a lot of people who watch Alex Jones who aren't as obviously nearly as crazy as him, but Alex Jones is just... Oh, it looks like... Oh, no, I'm good. He's just absolutely crazy when it comes to many issues. But it's not just him. There's people all around the country and the world who believe in some crazy things, and we just do not need somebody like that to be running in a position of government and who is supposed to represent the people, because that does not represent the people. But enough on that, because that's just depressing to know that we have somebody that's out there that is running who is a Nazi. So I wanted to go ahead and get on to the next thing here. So earlier this week, so Trump... there was this whole story about Trump and how he wants a military parade to honor the troops. So this is a story that is actually an opinion piece by a veteran through the LA Times. So, to the editor, if President Trump truly wants to honor the military, making it put on a parade in Washington on a cold Veterans Day in November is the wrong way. As a veteran who marched in many parades, including an Inauguration Day parade, I can say that it isn't any fun. It also takes time and money away from training, and it requires military personnel to work a very long day. Thousands of troops and heavy equipment will have to be moved into and out of Washington. For the service personnel, it means giving up a 3-day weekend. It means standing around for hours in the cold weather waiting for the parade to begin. It means training for a month to march in the parade. The president's parade would not be worth the time and money that could be put to much better use. If Trump truly wants to honor the military, give it an extra day off. That would be really appreciated. So yeah, this has been a huge story. A lot of people have compared it to, stuff that Francis did and even other dictatorships have done and stuff like that. Personally, just go ahead and tell me, what are your thoughts on Trump's idea to have a military parade? And what would you rather see Trump do when it comes to our military and everything? What are your thoughts on Trump's idea here?
I mean, that just seems like something North Korea would do. Like a parade with the military. Not in any, modern times we've done that here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, I think there's better ways to spend money than setting up a parade that makes no sense. I think if you really truly care about the military and you want to put your funding somewhere towards it, put it towards veterans who are homeless. Put it towards, people who are. Put it towards veterans and people who are poor. Put it towards people who actually need help. Put it towards families. Because this isn't the way to do it. Trump has increased military spending a lot in his first year as president, and he plans on expanding that even more. There was a story that came out today that basically said the United States plans to borrow $1 trillion this year, which is 84% more than last year. And we just don't have that money when we have a $20.6 trillion debt. We have a $700 billion deficit, and it just makes no sense. So yeah, this story came out on Tuesday. He asked the Pentagon, and they're reviewing potential dates. And it makes no sense to me. I mean, you honestly don't know what you're going to get out of Trump any day. It's something new every day that you would not expect. And he's not even the worst president. Okay, I'm sorry. He has done some good things, but when you see stuff like this, it's what? That's the first thing that comes out of my mouth is what the heck did I just read? Is this real? Is this one of those fake news stories? Oh wait, no, this is real. And yeah, we just don't need this. And obviously Democrats have come out against it and said, they'd rather see it put towards other things as well. But yeah, I just don't understand it because, like you were saying, it's stuff you would see in North Korea and other countries like France and stuff like that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't get why that's happening.
Yeah, so I don't get it either. So go ahead and go. We're going into the next story I have up for us here. So basically, if the Senate cannot vote on a spending bill, we basically are going to have another shutdown here in about an hour and 17 minutes. And the big news coming out of the day in terms of the shutdown watch, Senator Rand Paul held up a Senate vote on the budget. And he spoke for a while. Now, yesterday, Pelosi had a record speech. I want to say it was 8 hours long on DACA. But one thing I'd like to bring up about this, quote, compromise by Trump, it still increases military spending. There's no DACA. It doesn't seem like it's much of a compromise, personally, to me. Because this budget, first, is still increasing money, so it's not even a conservative thing, really. That's what Rand Paul was talking about. So it really doesn't even seem like it's that much of a compromise for the Democrats. And not to say that I'm the biggest fan of, illegal immigration, because I'm not. But, there's a lot more to DACA, and there's a lot more to these issues than just, saying get rid of it because, we don't like, illegal immigration. And I just wanted to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the spending bill? What are your thoughts on the compromise that has been tried to be proposed by Trump? What do you expect to see occur here? Do you expect that there is going to be a budget passed that will be able to keep the government open past midnight? What are your thoughts on the whole entire ordeal?
I mean, they all just need to figure it out. We don't need these government shutdowns because that just costs the taxpayers more money. Yeah, we really don't need that. But I don't really think that military needs more money because we already spend more money on our military than the next 3 countries.
It's more than that, yeah.
10 countries combined.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just we don't need more.
Right, for sure. No, I couldn't agree more with you there on that. So the budget deal includes a stopgap temporary measure to prevent a government shutdown, and it includes $300 billion extra more dollars for the military. And there's a few more things. Sadly, my 15 minutes are up, so I'll go ahead and go through more details with you guys in part 4. So stay tuned.